Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of GDSC Podcast, an initiative by GDSC I²IT, where we bring you thought-provoking discussions with great individuals. So sit back, relax, and join us to explore something new. Today, we have with us Rohini Rao. She's a final year student pursuing bachelor's in computer engineering at International Institute of Information Technology, Pune. She was the very first GDSC Lead at GDSC I²IT, where she worked to make the student community engaged and learn about newer technical trends through workshops, conferences, and much more. She is also the GitHub Campus Expert. She has a good hand over Python and Flutter and has contributed to a number of projects of the same. She is currently a software engineering intern. Apart from this, she is a passionate dancer and has completed her Vishart in Bharatanatyam. So, let's welcome Rohini. Hi Rohini, great to have such a multi-skilled personality
Hello.
with us today. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
It's been a pleasure to have you today. You're someone I've really admired to, and this interview was something I was looking forward to. Personally, I was really looking forward to. So I think without much further ado, we should get to the questions. So, my first question to you was, as you were the GDSC lead, you might have closely interacted with the student community, right? So, what do you think the student community lacks in terms of technical stack, or maybe the qualities that one should possess while looking forward to a career in tech? And what are your suggestions to them?
Yeah, so in GDSC especially, I love GDSC because we have the freedom to do a lot of things because it comes under Google. So we automatically get a lot of things, and I got to interact with a lot of. That's the best thing about GDSC, I guess. You know people as friends, but you don't know them as these technical masterminds that they are secretly. But I got to interact with them, and after talking to a lot of people, at least in our college, our community, I think. The one thing that they lack, I wouldn't say lack, but one thing that we can work on more is probably interacting more with people beyond just our college. We are very confined to our own college, and we obviously have a lot of insecurities regarding to our college being a tier 3 college, or thinking that other colleges are superior and stuff like that. But I think we have to get rid of that, and we should go beyond our college, attend events or connect to people on LinkedIn and just message, hi, what do you do in this company and stuff like that. That interaction, I mean, personal level pay, you don't get it. In our college, we don't get it because we know people. We'll not go on that level
And
to talk.
there's
So
a sense of comfort
that
zone
is
that you
something.
need to leave and go out, meet people, and look into
Yes,
that.
perfect. That's exactly it. Because we are used to all this. We know people, we take them for granted. But when we talk outside, we realize that the competition that we thought that was within our college, कि placement चाहिए, this इससे अच्छे marks चाहिए, that is actually, that becomes nothing. You start thinking beyond these four
Yeah.
walls that we've built. So that is actually an advantage that we get from being in communities and interacting with other communities. So we should do that
That is
more.
something I agree to. You get to know there are so many people with so many skills, and you're when you stay in your college, you're kind of confined within those four walls or something. But when you meet new people, you just get to know that there are so many new skills to still learn, so many new people to meet, and that is what something that makes communities a great place to be. I would say. So
Yeah, and that's why bringing GDSC in our college was so
I
important
agree.
because
It was
I think we have
it was starting a new
we have a medium,
culture,
right?
where people could learn from each other. I really agree about that thing. So thank you so
Yeah.
much. Your answer was really insightful. So Rohini, you were the runner-up for the entrepreneurship challenge arranged by I²IT EDC Cell. So what startup idea did you present in? And what do you think, why there is a startup boom in India, and how we can benefit from a situation like this, in situations like these?
Like a
Yeah.
vast question, but I'll first talk about my startup idea. I was with Asim, Varshita, Akhil, who are in BIT, and I was the only one from comp. And we had Asim, I think, was the first one who thought of this idea to leverage. There are a lot of people who go to work on the same route every day. So it's just their paths that they take every day. So we decided to leverage them and use them as like our carriers to do the shipping. So our company was called ShipIt, and it was like a B2B or a B2C company which would like deliver goods from one place to another by leveraging daily commuters. And we had this complicated hub and spoke model that we were going to modify and make it dynamic and stuff like that. So this was basically the idea that we pitched then, and which we got a prize for, because in lockdown this is what we came up with and stuff. But coming to the startup boom in India, like I think I'm like too small to answer such a big question, but I think it is very interesting to see the switch at, I think, in my group of friends or in our college, to like people applying for MNCs and people applying for startups. That is a very interesting switch now, because I see a lot of friends of mine who are like working and interning in startups, and they enjoy the culture there more than they enjoy in, let's say, MNCs, or the opportunities that they get from MNCs. So I think the startup boom for students at least is like very beneficial, and I think this is like a very good inspiration, like to employ ourselves and to employ our friends and to work with them. Coming up with startups is like the most fun part, to like make sure that our friends are involved in something serious also. So yeah.
Yeah, it's a great way to work with your friends and like bring new ideas and share them with each other. So thank you so much for your answer.
Yeah.
So I have the next question. This is actually a question which I used to think about as a fresher too. So I would like to know what you think about it. So we all have like observed that there are an ample of newbies in the field of tech every day. So, and we as freshers are pretty much confused about whether we should like explore like a lot. Like a number of technical domains, or we should stick to primarily focus on one domain and stick to it. So like, what are your opinions about it? Like generally freshers tend to ask this question, that should I explore everything, or should I just stick to app development and then do like just keep pursuing it, or like should I diversify my tech stack?
I mean, I face this every day. Like till now, but I think the best way to approach this is, you even if you think that should I learn all domains, you have to start with one. Like that has to be like a starting point to have. So just pick that starting point. It can be any starting point. So if you want app development, just start, work on it. You will automatically, if in 3 weeks you're like, oh God, I have to work on this again, you know it's not your thing. So you have to like, you'll obviously move on to like another thing. You'll be like, okay, fine. If I'm not finding app development, maybe I'll find backend interesting. So you'll go there. Or I'll find UI UX, or I'll find cloud. You'll automatically keep jumping. So I don't think it's like this entire network, you have to learn everything. It's not a necessity. Some people just have one thing and they're so proficient in it. Like I see on Twitter and these developers who are like just good at React and they are doing so well in their life. Like it's, you will find it yourself once you start picking something. So just start with one.
So how did you begin like your like your journey with learning tech and everything? So can you like give us an overview about it?
Yeah, so I was like, when I joined college, I had no idea. Like I didn't know how to code. I knew nothing. So I had this friend of mine called Akhil who like was very interested in coding. So I started hanging out with him, and he told me about, he would be like, this programming language you should learn C++, you should learn C. And then eventually I was like, I have to start with something. So I bought a Python course, because I know if I purchase something, I will do it. I don't think that is a rule that everyone should use. So it's very wasteful. Yeah, but it's like, it's a responsibility that comes over you.
Like, something that you have to get out the value, like get the value out of that course.
Exactly. And you're answerable. Like if I ask my dad to pay for this course, I'll be like, he'll ask me about it. Like, what's up with the course? So yeah, so I bought the course and then I did it religiously, and I loved Python after that. So I think I had to start with something. That's what I bought. I thought that was like a good course. That's why I bought. I didn't think a lot about it, because I had to start somewhere, and I had no idea to even think about it. Like I didn't know which was good or not. And Python was being taught to us, I think, in first year. Yes. So I was like, I'll have a good backup next. So I started with Python, and in the course itself, they tell you like Python say you can do data science, Python say you can do back end, front end, whatever. Not front end, but whatever. So I started with ML, and I was like, okay, ML is okay, but I'm not finding it fun. So then I picked backend, and I was like, this is fun. I can do more things. If I build a backend, I have to build a front end to show my project. So I started learning how to. So it becomes like a chain where you start learning things on your
Yeah,
own.
I agree
But
with
I
that.
started with Python.
Nice. Thank
Yeah,
you so much. So that is actually something I did too, because we have that as a subject, and then I was like, yeah, let's start somewhere.
yeah.
Even I did like had any background with coding and anything. In fact, I opted out of computer science when I was in class 10th, and then yeah, I and I
Whoa,
chose it as my degree. Anyways, and we're now here. So
life of an engineer. So
So also I agree about where you mentioned that having a good peer group like motivates you a lot to work on yourself, to like explore new things. So I think finding a right peer group is also like very important in the process.
yeah, totally. As I mentioned, Akhil, we both held each other accountable as to how much we like worked on
Yeah,
Python. Like we used to constantly be like, कितने videos खत्म किए तूने? क्या क्या
yeah.
सीखा तूने? And that accountability like motivates you to
You
go
do work.
further.
Yeah,
You're
I
like,
agree.
उसने ये कर लिया, I have to do this now करके.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah,
So
it really helps.
okay, thank you so much. So let's move to the next. Let's move to the next question. So the next question is okay. So these were all the things that we've discussed about your tech journey. So you might have made some mistakes while all this time. So can you tell me like 3 mistakes that you made up till now, and what did you learn from them?
Oh wow. Okay, so this is a loaded question though. But okay, so I think one mistake that I actually really regret is I took online classes very, very lightly, and there were some really good subjects that were being taught, like OP, DBMS, TOC, and these subjects actually are very helpful, like as you move forward in your like at least tech career. OS is like essential, TOC is essential, so I think I regret not studying enough. I was like, ये तो online में है, मेरे को बस pass होना है, so I like totally ignored that. But I think I had to pay attention because later on I was watching Computer Network. Like what is it? How does it work? And it's such basics that you need to know this. Like cloud पे काम करना, you have to understand what computer like how networks work. You have to understand
This is
that.
actually true
So
for anyone who came from the online batch. Like I can totally relate to the computer networks part.
exactly.
I was like literally yesterday studying computer networks and stuff. So yeah, this is way too relatable.
If any subject you have to pay attention, it has to be computer networks, OS के जो algorithms है, that is so fundamental. It's like binary search. ऐसे how we study DSA में binary search तो आना ही पड़ेगा. Like OS के वो जो भी algorithms है, वो सब ऐसे आने चाहिए हमको. So OS is very important. TOC is very important. So I think I regret not studying that. That's like my
Okay.
first major regret.
Okay.
I don't know what my a second would be like. I didn't work on enough projects. Like I lack motivation a lot when I'm like picking up something big. So I want to work on more projects. Like I want to build personal projects and stuff like that because those are the most fun. Like internships aside, internship you work for other people's passion projects. Now you're gonna work for your own passion project. So I want to build more personal projects. And the third regret, I think not paying attention to my health is really bad. It's really bad. It's this is all not that important. I've like not I skip meals sometimes because I just want to complete this one piece of code that I have, and it's not worth it. It's definitely not worth it. Once you get a health scare, you're like, oh God, why did I do that?
Okay, I think we're all guilty of the last one. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Definitely, dude. The exam times, everyone is like, no one even cares ki you have
Hi,
to take care of
hi,
yourself.
Annie with
Everyone is
me.
like, all nighters marenge. So,
Okay. So, thank you so much for your answer. So, also, the next question is something related to your passion. So, while we were preparing about this interview, like whatever questions to ask you, so we realized that you're like really passionate about dancing. And I remember seeing you perform at certain events also, like college events. So people usually say
yeah.
your passion gets left behind when you enter your workflow, but your achievements in Bharatnatyam say that you managed to manage both accordingly. Like engineering equals a pile of submissions, assignment, and final year means getting internships done. But yet you pursued your passion. How important is your passion to you, and how do you manage to balance both of these things?
So Bharatanatyam has been like a part of my life when I was like 12. Like I said, bachpan se I'm practicing Bharatanatyam. It's been like 12 years, I guess. So it's like I have like ensured that I make it a part of my life. And 10th के एग्जाम्स आए लोगों ने छोड़ दिए 12th के एग्जाम्स आए लोगों ने छोड़ दिए I made sure I continued. So yeah, I engineering, even if it like equates a pile of submissions and stuff like that, it submissions happen in the last moment. You don't do it like the entire year. Like who are we kidding? We study exam ko पिछले दिन में. So I don't think it has been like a major interference. Definitely internships के साथ manage करना has been a little difficult, and like I am struggling with it, but I like try to make sure that even if it's not Bharatnatyam, even if it's not that one consistent hobby, I try to make sure that I indulge in hobbies in some way or the other, because there comes like a break point where you're like fed up. I don't want to work anymore. I don't want to look at the laptop. This is too much for me. So that breakpoint is perfectly cured by like I love drawing, I love to do yoga, I love to paint. I like anything works for me as long as it is a good mood changer for me. So I can't live without hobbies. Like ऐसे passionate होने का भी जरूरत नहीं. I just want to do something different. So I think everyone should have that one thing that they can rely on. Like इससे mood change होगा ही मेरा. So that has been Bharatnatyam for me. So yeah.
That's true. I agree. So thank you so much for your answer. So let's move to the next question. So the next question is, so as you're currently interning in a software engineering company, Silk, so what are the most interesting projects that you've worked on till now? If those are your personal projects, you can tell about them too, and whatever you've done in internship, like you can tell about any of those things. And what are your learnings from the experience of working as a software engineering intern at your company?
Okay. So yeah, so Silk has been like I got my internship like I think around last year this time, and it it has been like a amazing workplace for me to like learn a lot of stuff. The people there are amazing, and um, I don't know. The most interesting projects that I worked on are like involving both my internship and like my personal projects. Like I come up with a project idea every week and I have to do something about it. So there are like so many unfinished projects. So it's like a minefield. Which O should I choose now? So I don't have like a very favorite personal project, but currently I'm like looking forward to build a project on microservices. I'm like really interested in, and with the recent events in Pune for us and like learning about cloud and stuff like that, I'm like so looking forward to implementing like a some management system which uses Docker, which uses like queues and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to that. And coming to internship, like being an intern is like they treat you like a baby. So I definitely recommend anyone to like look for an internship that treats you like a baby, because you don't know anything. So I think a lot of people are overwhelmed कि internships में apply कैसे करें and stuff. So even I was like that, but when you apply and you like join the company, they they will teach you everything. You don't have to worry about it. They know you're an intern. So for me, being like a software engineering intern, the title seems so daunting, but the work is just learning. Every day I have to like talk to someone and learn about something that they've been working on and try to implement it. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Every day is like a new learning journey for me.
I agree. Thank you so much. Also, like seeing your projects come to reality, like building your projects from start and then seeing the final result is like really rewarding, and that kind of motivates you to make more projects, work on more projects, take up new things to do. So yeah, it that is something that
Definitely. And
also
if you're
motivates
like
you
working
to
on projects,
learn new things. Like also what you were saying.
definitely. And post it. Like just put it on LinkedIn, put it on Twitter, tell them you're working on projects. Like let people know you're working on projects. Let people know you're skilled. Why do you want your resume to be confined on a piece of paper, no? सोशल मीडिया पर डाल दो, लेट पीपल नो, बिकॉज यू मोटिवेट अदर्स एंड यू मोटिवेट
I
योर सेल्फ
agree.
की लाइक्स आ रहे तो ऑटोमेटिकली हमारे दिमाग में वो डोपामिन आएगा कि आई हैव टू वर्क ऑन मोर प्रोजेक्ट्स करके.
True. As you were talking about Pune first, so I remember seeing you at Pune first, and this is a question that I've always wanted to ask you, and I think you talked about it there too, but I would still ask you here so that our viewers can listen to it. So, mostly Pune first was an event where people who loved, who like united for their love, were united by the love for open source, right? So, you are also like an active contributor in open source. So, what would be your tips for a beginner, like how they can get started with open source if they want to, like if someone wants to get started?
Um, it is like open source getting started is really tough because when you open GitHub and the amount of repositories that you see in your feed, it is overwhelming definitely. But I would like for me at least this helped key starting from picking one repository which doesn't feel that overwhelming. So this was because of I think Abhi is the best time कि GSSOC करके Girls Kid Summer of Code करके एक event होता है. And with that, there are like hundreds of summers of code that you'll see. And everyone is like Google Summer of Code का first step है. So Google Summer of Code तो is like overwhelming as a machine है वो. It's a lot for a beginner. And if you are like good for it, go for it. But if you like are really overwhelmed by those scale of projects, I say go through the summer of codes, just participate. Most of them have dummy projects. Just learn how to contribute there. Git use करने आ जाएगा. You know how to make pull requests. You know what issues are, and you just get the satisfaction of merging your first pull request and being like, मेरे को open source करने आ गया. So you have to start somewhere. So pick smaller projects, and then automatically, if you're like interested, you'll be like, okay, I'll find more related projects. I know Python, then I'll work on more Python wale projects. So it automatically your feed entire GitHub will become modified. कि तेरे को ये repo पसंद आया ना, you can also work here. So you you'll automatically create an environment for yourself once you start contributing.
Okay.
So just start. I think ऐसे कोई भी summer of course में participate करना is the best first step.
Okay. So, since we talked about open source, so how would you say how much like what is the importance of open source in your tech journey? How has it been important to you, and what opportunities did you got because of it? And yeah.
Yeah. So as I mentioned, I participated in this GitHub Summer of Code, and usme I contributed to a repo called Rotten Scripts.
Okay.
So that repo was all about writing amazing Python scripts about anything. And it is like taken care by, it's managed by Harshvardhan Mishra. He's like, he's like my idol. He's like a very, very smart guy. He did GSOC, GSOD. He has done everything he has done. So that guy, I contributed to his repo, and he was also impressed by my skills, and even Akhil was a participant, so we both were added as maintainers to that repo as well. But whenever I have applied to any internships or any interviews, they have looked at my contributions to that repo, and they have skipped my interview, like ये जो coding round होता है interview में, I've skipped that because they were like Python तो आता है, हमें दिख रहा है. So that has been a huge help for me, क्योंकि तुम्हारे जो GitHub पे जो green dots दिखते हैं तुम्हारे contributions के, it helps. Like they know कि you know how to use Git at least, वो एक assurance मिल जाता है उनको कि at least you know the know-hows, you understand basics of at least कुछ तो आता होगा. Make repos of your DSA, like they'll automatically, like I did that. I had a repo where I just would solve a DSA question and put it there, and interviewers would just look at your GitHub and be like, अच्छा इसने DSA किया है, इसको ये सब questions आते हैं, trees दिख रहा है मेरे को, trees के questions आते हैं. So why should I ask and waste my time? Because she already knows that. वैसा conclusion उनके दिमाग में बन जाएगा. I don't know if it helps to like everyone, but it has helped me, and I know a few people for whom it has helped. So I think open source will definitely help you. GitHub को बहुत use करना है बस.
So as you mentioned GitHub, so I would like to ask you about your experience as being the GitHub Campus Expert, and how do you think being a part of community has helped you become better as a person, and like how in general community is like important to you?
Yeah. So, okay, coming to GitHub Campus Expert, you can only apply to GitHub Campus Expert if you are part of like a community. And my community is our college. Like whatever I learn or whatever projects I want to build or any कुछ भी कमिटी है हमारे कॉलेज में एसीएम हो गया जीडीएससी हो गया आई मेक श्योर आई एम देयर like I have to be a part of that community to like just hang out with people, talk about the stuff, organize fun events. That's always been my thing. So becoming a GitHub campus expert has definitely like exponentially say my opportunities बढ़े to participate in more communities. Like I know communities, I know people who are not like who are in Mumbai who are organizing this event, or I know that what next event GDG Pune is doing. Like and that is so insightful and so beneficial because eventually वो सारे events हम लोग हमारे college में like at least our college के students will know this or I'll have someone to go to that
I
event.
agree.
Like
It makes you so
कुछ
happy.
तो मिल जाएगा.
It makes you so happy.
Correct. And you are always finding that one person.
Yeah, I agree.
इसके साथ मैं
I
जाऊंगी
agree.
इस event
This
के
is
लिए
actually
करके.
so true. Also, like when you come to know about how these big events are pulled up by all small people, like small people and like people like us in general, like people like us who work together and like their small efforts contribute to such a big event. And I don't know, it just seeing that is so rewarding that you were a part of that event and you made that happen.
Yeah, definitely. Dude, the social media posts, like the LinkedIn post, Twitter post, it is so satisfying to see. Even I was there. I heard that talk. Like it's so fun. It's really nice. So I think GitHub Campus Expert and communities in general. हमारे कॉलेज लेवल पे वी नो सो मेनी पीपल उधर जाके वी विल गेट टू नो इवन मोर पीपल यू विल टॉक टू समवन एज आउट ऑफ बोर्डम उधर लाइक इफ यू आर नॉट फाइंडिंग अ टॉक इंटरेस्टिंग यू विल बी लाइक तू कौन से कॉलेज में है लाइक यू विल ऑटोमेटिकली स्टार्ट अ कॉन्वर्सेशन सो लाइक जस्ट गोइंग देयर इज like I try to make an effort to if I have time to like attend events or at least participate or help in organizing or if nothing I'll try to organize something in my college so that कुछ तो ऐसे there is this community feeling to like learn something.
Yeah, sure. I agree. Like being a part of the community is really rewarding in that sense. I agree. So, so we're like now we're towards the end of our interview, which is kind of sad because I'm really enjoying this discussion with you. So, like, let's dive into our quick third questions that you have to answer within like short period of time, 30 seconds, around 30 seconds. So, I'll ask you the question. So, which is your favorite programming language?
Python.
What is your favorite developer? What is your favorite developer tool that you use the most?
For now it has to be Git like ऐसे instant Git stash मेरा favorite command बन गया है.
What's your favorite part regarding about open source what is your favorite open source contribution that you've made till now?
Oh, I had this. There was a repository which had something to do with ML or something, and I made using the company which make deep fakes. उनका एक कोई तो library है deep face lab करके, which is very simple to implement. Like it just uses sentiment analysis लगाया था मैंने face पे, and I had so much fun on that project. I've shown it इतने college के projects में भी. I love that. I love that I did that contribution.
Mention the technology that is your most favorite till now that you've learned.
For now, I think I am loving Django and in general backend with जो भी है. So for now, I'm having so much fun with Django. There's so many things that I'm like constantly learning about it. So yeah.
So your favorite project that you've worked on till now?
Favorite project till now? Oh, it has. It's not my favorite, but there's this small weather application that I built. But इतने interviews मिले ना मेरे को उस एक application से, so I have to give it that credit.
Thank you so much, Rohini. Thank you so much, Rohini, for your time, and thank you so much for being a part of this podcast. And we were really happy to have you, and I had the best time talking to you about all of these technologies and geeking out about all these events and stuff. And thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, family. You are a great host. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for listening to our podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's episode and learned something new. Before we go, we want to remind you to subscribe to our podcast on different channels so that you never miss out on an episode. If you liked what you heard today, please consider leaving us a review and give us your feedback. It helps us to improve and reach out to more listeners. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions for future episodes, we'd love to hear from you. And finally, a big thank you to Rohini Rao for joining us today and sharing her expertise. We couldn't have done it without her. That's it for today's episode. We'll be back soon with another great conversation. Until then, take care and keep learning.